So have you heard the latest buzz about Mike Tyson and Jake Paul? I mean, it's everywhere right now, and it's totally wild. Apparently, Tyson is super pissed at Jake Paul over this insane body transformation he's had. Some people are even whispering about steroids. Can you believe it? Word on the street is that Tyson called out Jake Paul, suggesting that maybe, just maybe, there's something fishy going on with this transformation. The big S word is being thrown around: steroids. Now, Tyson hasn't outright accused Paul of juicing, but he's definitely hinted that he's suspicious. And when a legend like Tyson hints at something, it's a big deal. You have to think about where Tyson is coming from. He's a guy who's seen it all in boxing. He's witnessed the highs, the lows, the dirty tricks, and the hard work. He knows what it takes to transform your body and what's realistic in terms of natural progression. So, if he's questioning Paul's transformation, it's because he's got a pretty good sense of what's going on. Jake Paul, on the other hand, is adamant that he's clean. He's been very vocal about how hard he trains, his strict diet, and his dedication to the sport. According to him, there's no funny business involved, just good old-fashioned hard work. Love him or hate him, he's been pretty successful in the ring lately. So, here's the deal. Jake Paul has been showing off this crazy body transformation on social media. Like, we're talking ripped muscles, veins popping, the whole deal. People started noticing, and naturally, questions began to fly. Is it all just hard work and dedication? Or is there something more to it? That's when Mike Tyson chimed in. And when Tyson speaks, people listen.
I already gave him his warning. Fight like your life depends on it, because it does.
Speaking of bumps,
went right over it.
Those little bumps you had on your face kind of alarmed me. You wouldn't be happening to taking PEDs, are you?
Listen, if you want to build in excuses right now,
No, I'm just
go
asking.
ahead.
'Cause I was just wondering. I
Go
looked at
ahead.
your face, it looked kind of serious. You had some rage and you acting all unorthodox. You know, those are signs of the PEDs.
I'm enraged. I'm not enraged at all.
Are you taking PEDs?
No, sir.
Not at all. Okay.
No, sir.
That's
Do you
what
think
I
he's on
feel
PEDs?
like. I don't care. You can be on horse tranquilizer steroids. You can get a whole new body from Walmart. You're still getting slapped.
Of course, everyone believes anything they read on the internet today, which is sad because people don't actually look into it.
So I can answer with confidence whether Jake Paul is natural or not. Now first, before we dive into whether Jake Paul is natural or not, I think there's a big misconception. So many people think that NFL players, UFC fighters, boxers, soccer players, even cyclists, that they're natural, that they don't need PEDs. For some reason, people only relate steroids to bodybuilding. But for those of you who don't know, steroids increase your recovery, increase your explosiveness, basically just improve you all around. So it can be beneficial in every single sport depending what you take. So I'll give you guys the answer early. Is Jake Paul natural? No. I can say that with pretty certain confidence in that statement, mainly because, as you heard me mention, I know a lot of the people he trains with and I have heard things. Now let's give Jake the benefit of the doubt, right? He's able to restrain from the peer pressure that everyone's putting on him to hop on these certain compounds. Then that would be cool to train natural, do what he needs to do. But the thing is, his body composition has changed so much, his explosiveness, his power, and yes, that comes with training and time. But I find it very, very suspicious that for some reason, whenever a drug test gets brought up, for instance, when Fury wanted that in the contract, Jake Paul turns them down. So you should think to yourself, it's probably because he's not natural. Now I want to make it clear, I don't care whether Jake Paul is natural or not. There's so many people that aren't natural that are in combat sports. In fact, Tyron Woodley probably is also not natural. Everyone wants that little edge over their competition, and that's where drugs and anabolics come into play. There's certain compounds that are out there that just increase your explosiveness immensely, your recovery, so that you can stay in the same weight class, which is very important for combat sports, whether that's boxing, UFC, whatever type of combat sport you're doing. So that is why you guys have seen so much improvement from Jake Paul. Of course, he has a great circle around him, great trainers, great coaches, a great regimen, but definitely anabolics play a very fundamental role in that. They allow him to train as hard as he does. They allow him to increase his power and speed. And of course, when you think of those concepts, that's essentially the recipe to win in a combat sport. Many people caught on to it that Jake Paul was breaking out with acne. But for instance, if you guys look on me, I still get pimples here and there. And normally I never have any pimples, but it's because I'm on TRT. Now, back when I used to actually take cycles, my acne got pretty bad. So it's not a guarantee that when someone has acne, they're gonna be on cycle, but probably, once again, the biggest red flag without a doubt is how Jake Paul just continuously turns down the drug test. Now, I myself wouldn't care if he's not natural. Of course, because he's a pro fighter, he needs to pass the drug test, so he doesn't want to take them. And Jake Paul, if you think about his character traits, he wants to win at all costs, right? Like every fighter does, like every person probably would that's stepping in the ring. He wants to win every single way he possibly can. So why would he not? Now I'm giving you guys all this information just to ponder if I didn't actually know the answer, but I do know the answer. Like I mentioned, I know who he trains with. I've heard, okay? I live in Vegas. I know a lot of the people he trains with.
Tyson, who's age 57 right now, is scheduled to fight Jake Paul, age 27, on July 20th on Netflix.
I hope there's some stipulations into that clause. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that there's rules that protects Jake Paul. Because, yeah, he's 57, but is he? Is he really 57? Punching power? Is his punching power 57? He probably hits 3 times harder than Jake Paul can possibly ever hit. I will hope Jake Paul is on some type of steroid. I will hope. Not to punch back Tyson, that shit ain't gonna work. I'm talking about to absorb some of this punching power Tyson has in his body, right? You're talking about a dude who probably hit like Mack truck then, still hitting like a F-150 today. Jake Paul body is not built for what Tyson throws. So even an accidental punch by Mike Tyson will hurt this man. And that's what I'm afraid. I don't give a shit if it's fixed. I'm not worrying about the problem is he is a professional he's a professional heavyweight champion, which means his reflexes is dangerous. And that's the only thing I'm afraid of for Jake. It's Tyson's natural reflex that you got to worry about.
So you don't think that Jake has any chance of winning?
Without it being rigged, no.
Okay.
He don't punch. I don't give a fuck if he's 57. You don't think Roy hit harder than you? You don't think Roy hits harder than Jake Paul?
No, Roy was a beast.
No, what I'm
in
saying
his
is,
day.
think about
Beast.
that Roy Jones fight. You think Jake Paul can hit harder than that Roy Jones did with Mike? No, Mike is.
I don't know though. I mean, Jake Paul is not a slouch. He's not just a YouTuber who put on gloves. I think he actually took the sport very seriously.
Now,
and
recently,
listen, he lost his last fight. The Tommy Fury fight, he lost.
Okay, let's back up a bit. You know who Mike Tyson is, right? The legendary boxer, the baddest man on the planet. He's been in the game forever, and he knows a thing or two about the sport. And then there's Jake Paul, the YouTuber turned boxer who's been making headlines left and right.
It's been 4 years in this sport, and I've done more to it than any boxer in the history of the sport. So in due time, sir, I will be fighting for a world championship, and I will be shutting you the f up and making you eat your own words, just like the rest of these punks.
Well. Yeah, look, he's the bull, I'm the matador. And it's that simple. Speed and timing beats power.
I saw him with his shirt off the other day. He's fat. I thought, did you start training already?
Mikey, your hands can't hit what your eyes can't see.
My whole life becomes this training camp and this moment and eating a lot of food as well to gain weight because Mike is looking mighty thick.
I work out every day. I don't go all out right there. It's escalating as time goes on. By the time July 20th comes, I'll be peaked.
I love you like a father loves his son, but I must discipline you. You're going down, old man.
Okay, I love you too.
I'm very confident in myself and I'm gonna win in devastating fashion. I think the people who are really experts at betting are rooting for me.
If there was no doubters, this wouldn't be a big event. We have to have doubters. It's just what it is. Tell them if they can afford a ticket, come to the fight.
This actually all started when I was doing ayahuasca like 2 years ago, and I saw this vision of me and Mike Tyson fighting, And it was so surreal, so visceral. And I got to see the butterfly effect of how that changed the sport of boxing forever. And I saw that the next Mike Tyson came from being a fan of and watching this fight. Just the exposure and viewership for the sport is just phenomenal. And to show kids that if they start something, 4 years later they can reach to the highest level of it, even when everyone said you couldn't. And that's exactly what I've done.
I just believe I could beat him. There's no edge, it's just a matter of fact.
I finally feel like this is my moment, and all that hustle every single day, even through the ups and downs, the failures when I wanted to quit and stop doing all of this, I just kept going, knowing that one day the world would see who I was. But I'm just humbled and honored and grateful for this opportunity, and thankful for Mike, and just shows that hard work pays off.
Well, anybody's a threat. It's 2 minutes in the ring, everybody's a threat.
That's what's made my whole entire career, is taking big risks, and I want the toughest guy out there. I want the biggest fights. Netflix, Mike Tyson, it doesn't get any bigger than this, and everyone will see July 20th. I will prove them wrong once again.
Yeah, I mean, we're programmed to wake up when the sun comes up, but I mean, my fight is at damn near close to midnight, so obviously I have to get used to that, and I need 10 hours of sleep. But yeah, I wake up at like 12:30-ish, 1. Wake up in the morning, straight to the oatmeal, get my pink Himalayan sea salt, which is great for minerals, sodium, natural sodium, to get ready for a workout. I jump into the ice bath, shock the body, you know, get the blood flowing. That wakes me up like crazy. Have a little bit of coffee, and then just go right into the morning workout, whether it's like jogging, boxing, strength and conditioning. And then after that, it's usually at like 5 p.m.-ish. And that's when I eat breakfast.
I love how you call like the morning workout like 2 p.m.
That's the morning, bro.
Bro, that's not the morning.
Bro, in training camp it is. We have one mission. Yo, you guys are lucky that I even have a schedule. You know what Floyd does? He wakes up whenever the he wants and goes to the gym, and everyone has to go and follow him, and they have to be alert at all times. Am I wrong? No. So you're lucky I even have a schedule.
But let's be real. In the world of sports, especially combat sports, rumors about steroids are as common as trash talk before a fight. What's interesting is how the public is reacting to this. Jake Paul has a huge following, but he's also got a lot of critics. His fans are backing him up, saying Tyson's just jealous or trying to stir the pot. His critics, though, are quick to jump on the steroid bandwagon, using Tyson's comments as ammunition. It's like a soap opera, really. You've got the seasoned veteran who's skeptical of the newcomer's sudden rise, and the controversial figure who's constantly under scrutiny. Throw in some social media, a few spicy comments, and boom, you've got a full-blown rumor mill. And here's the kicker. This isn't just about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. This kind of stuff happens all the time in sports. Whenever someone shows a significant change in their physique, people start talking.
Jake, you never responded to the challenge. You publicly stated that I do not. So I told you could randomly test me for the next 10 years. I believe that you're a cheater, and I believe that you use steroids. So I want to randomly steroid test you for the next 2 years. And that thing that you came out with today, nobody on earth thinks that you really wrote that. You're too stupid. And for those of you that don't know, if you've ever watched one of his fights and you see when they do the stare down, the guy that's standing in the middle with the warlock nose and the big warlock wart on his face, apparently that's his manager. And that guy used to be an accountant for me. And let's just say this, he no longer works for me, and I think he's a But if you two think that you can do it better than we do, we're doing this whole thing wrong. You could treat the fighters better than we do. Knock yourself out. Go start your own business. It's easy to do. Get the warlock on it. The warlock can get it started for you. What you and the warlock should be focused on is your business. You're tanking. You can't sell pay-per-views. You're calling out Jorge Masvidal because he's a pay-per-view superstar. Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor, Mike Tyson. These are all superstars. You're not. you can't sell pay-per-views. So you do whatever the hell you want to do. I'm ready to roll, buddy. I don't use... Do you use steroids? Let's do this, Jake.
It's part of the game, for better or worse. But because of who these two are, it's blowing up in a big way. Personally, I think it's fascinating to watch. Whether there's any truth to the steroid rumors or not, it's a reminder of how intense the world of boxing can be. The rivalries, the drama, the constant scrutiny, it's all part of what makes the sport so compelling. And with characters like Tyson and Paul involved, you know it's going to be entertaining. So what do you think? Is Jake Paul really just hitting the gym super hard? Or is there something more to his transformation? And do you think Tyson is onto something, or is he just stirring the pot? It's one of those stories that makes you think, and it's definitely got people talking.